I'm getting ready to do something stupid. Ta-da! So you may be wondering, why would I cut a hole in a floor that I'd already built? Well, I've been trying to get these doors to line up, and I've come to the conclusion that this corner is still too high, and I've been working on it for a while, and it's in the floor. And I leveled the frame, and I've got 3 different levels, both left to right and forward, making sure everything's level all the way across, and it's that corner. So the only way I can fix it is to cut the floor out and then tilt it down. So we got to figure out how to do that. And it's high right here. There's a little bit of a rise right there. I need to make this go down just a little, like we're talking 1/4 of an inch. This is the structure going this way. There's a bar there, bar here and here. So I think I'm just going to cut, and drop it. Don't forget, pretty people need a full face shield. So, as dumb as this is gonna sound, I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyway, but these red ratchet straps have been with me for a very long time, and they have been part of this build most of its life. I have, in fact, the tool that's been around the longest is dead now, and I have it hanging up there, my original 4.5 inch grinder. I feel like it's kind of appropriate, maybe, that they get to do some more work. So I dug them out. Uh-oh. Let's see what our litmus test looks like. Oh, that's a lot better. We're getting there. Now, there's a mount that I made up here when I was first trying to figure out how to do this, but I feel like the whole thing could come down some more. Got you out of the way. Yeah, I was leveling it and trying to figure out why I couldn't ever get anything to line up, and it goes back to shoddy craftsmanship. That original guy working on this thing was a moron. Oh yeah, that was me. Oh well, how do you learn if you don't break stuff? That's my motto. Maybe one more, come on. So close. There it is. Woo! Man, that's a big gap there now. All right. Litmus test. Litmus test. And the survey says we're getting better. This is getting way closer here. And we're staying there. That's the good thing. Obviously, my gap down at the bottom needs to come out, which would rotate it up, but there was no way I was going to move it far enough without getting that gap better. So one thing I still think we need to do is bring this down a little too. We cut it free, but I still think we need to bring that down as well as the floor. I've got our second red ratchet strip. He was feeling a little left out. I heard him bitching over there in the box. So I went and grabbed Mad Eye Moody here. He's clearly been through some stuff. We're getting better, a whole lot better, but not great. And a lot of it's because of that front. How do I fix that? There's one more there. Turn your face. A Mad Eye Mooney might not have it in him. We'll see. Another one. Woo! Woo! The real question is, do I start screwing with my door and trying to adjust it and see what I can do? I think maybe the answer to that is yes. If I need my door to move like this, then this side needs to go down a little. It needs to go down and out. So, as I hook that back up, so I want to loosen these. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, they're half inch. I was close. You don't need to watch from over there. Come be part of the team. My plan is to elongate these. Now, I need to go up and up. So we're just going to make them taller on both the bottom, or on the top and the bottom. I think I'm going to use my die grinder. Die grinder seems smarter. Face shield! Woohoo! They need to come back in that. Why is there so much play in that hinge? Huh. We might have to investigate. Off we go. I hate doors. All right, what do we got here? These do adjust. Oh, that's loose. That's why. Oh, that's hard to tighten. To go in. Ooh, that was a lot. I wonder how much is too much. I also wonder how I'm going to tighten that. How do I do that? I'll be damned. I guess I could cut a slot and a slot maybe. One at the bottom, one at the top. I don't know how else I'm going to get to them. Oh, let's cut that in. Why not? We're cutting everything else tonight. What's a few more? Oh, unplugged it. I'm not going to use it anymore. Make sure it's off. Well, it doesn't quite look like an amateur job, even though it is. Slots work. Yeah, those slots are the cat's pajamas, man. So much better. Shit, I don't remember which one was top and which one was bottom. I should get a punch marking set so I can tell. Now, to do the same thing up top. Let's try putting her back together. Ow, that was my finger. Yeah, that's as tight as that's gonna go. Now, let's put our door back on. Again. Now, with all these points, there is a lot of adjustability I can put into the doors. I'm trying to keep it to a minimum, because sometimes if you put too much adjustability in, then you can't ever get them right. That's what my grandpappy used to say. Yeah, he didn't. Both my granddads were woodworkers. Phenomenal woodworkers, if you want to know the truth. And I love good woodworking. It's fun to look at, it's fun to own. I suck at it. That's why I like metal. You can just weld it back together when you dick it up. Actually, one of my granddads was a welder and basically an engineer by trade. He didn't have the formal education, but trust me, he was an engineer. And he could do some stuff with metal and with wood that was incredible. Hell, it's definitely forward. It's not this way though. And I think I went too far in. Okay, but now I think I might be able to adjust without taking it all apart. Thanks to our handy dandy slots. I could be wrong. Oh, I can get to the top one up here. I can get to it. Oh, this is phenomenal. Something like a phenomenon. That moved quite a bit. We may need a bigger hole. Oh, I'm tired of taking this door on and off already. We need to make the hole that's inside the A-pillar bigger. I'll show you. It'll make sense when I finish talking and start showing, because Lord knows I don't talk very well. My wordsmithing's good. It's really good. It's lovely. It's G. Willikers good. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Really good. Good. It's better. It's more funner. My sister-in-law is an English teacher. I love saying things like funner. And, there's another one that just drives her bananas. But funner's a good one to say. It's a lot of funner. It's like nails on a chalkboard too, or it kills me. I like her a lot though. There. Guess what? I went so fast my door blew up. I need to make this hole bigger. Let's see. Oh, that might be harder than I thought. Ruh-roh. Okay, we'll figure it out. I got some metal there. The other one might be a little tight. We'll have to figure that out. I don't know how much I can waller out of that, so we'll see. I'm going to be very careful. That's all I'm comfortable with on that one. Still hot though. Sometimes we get a little smarter. Most of the time, we're just less dumb. What's interesting to me is the this part of the cab is up off my frame a little bit up there. And I don't understand. I'm not getting the full movement I need. I'm wondering if it doesn't feel like anything there's catching. There's nothing. So the roll cage goes across and it goes to here. I'm trying to twist. I've got a bar across there. I've got these bars here. This one's welded in. That's welded in. This is welded in. And I'm just trying to pull this side down a little bit. And I've got it to go some. But I'm trying to figure out how I can get it to go more. And I'm not talking a lot here. I don't understand why that won't go down. What is hitting there? Aha. All right. I think I found it. Oh, I looked right in that light. That was bright. I made that way, 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 way back in the day. And I'm thinking it needs to come out because this brace right there is what's stopping me from being able to come down anymore. So I think the Sawzall's coming out. We're just going full bore. I'm tired of dicking with stuff. I'm just cutting it and I'm forcing it to be where I want it to be. Because that's how we're going to build this. I wonder if I'd be better off. It's literally that part that's sticking up. I wonder if I'd be better off cutting the whole square out, because I can't get to that very well underneath. I'm not even sure I can get a bar on it, but I could cut it from the top. And then, I mean, this plate, so this plate's welded to this frame, and then I'm going to re-weld this to it. So I'm not worried about it being weak. I mean, the roll bar is simply to make it like a decent protection. It's not hot. I'm not going drag racing with this thing. I've never intended it to be a roll cage in that tense, but I did want it to protect me if someone hit me or something. So this will be plenty safe. I'm going to cut that out from the top. We're back to our pretty people face shield. I got my jack, and I'm going to try and go up enough here to get this guy out, maybe. Ha! Now, maybe we can get somewhere on this project of ours. I made that forever ago, and that's some shitty welding up here. Not too bad on the bottom where I welded it outside, but I did not weld that well up there. So I'm glad that's out of our hair. Yeah, I can move that however I want now. Now we're getting somewhere. Let me tighten all my hinges back up, and then I'll see where we're at. I've got this one keeping the gap consistent. I don't want it, it's trying to walk forward on me. So I just put this one back in here. It's not super tight at all, just firm. Then I've got this one. I've got Mad Eye Moody still pulling down on this. And with all I did was tighten our hinges up because they were loose from last night. And getting it pulled down has definitely improved this. I've got a rub spot right there, but I think that's more, I need to do some sheet metal work there. I mean, at some point, it's just not a perfect edge. But look back here. I'm not lifting up, I'm not doing anything, and we're that close. So, I mean, I haven't been, man, that's spot on from back there. Why? And look at that. So why doesn't my door line up perfectly? Problems for another second. I'm liking how that's fitting, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and commit this to being adjusted. I mean, we gapped those things a ton to get it down, to bring it down, and then pulling out that old mount. And then I can go ahead and build the front cab mount for this and keep tweaking. And once we get this all solidified, then I can take the cab off and move on to some other things, finishing up the bottom side of it, for example. But yeah, we're gonna commit. Cleaned up the top up there, and I'm letting that cool a little bit over there. But I think we're gonna slap a little primer on the top there so it can dry, go eat some lunch. Now that we've got this painted, it's time to start figuring out if I can use this. Originally, I built this with the idea of using the body mount right here, being on the inside, but then I got worried about the exhaust and stuff I have to get through here. And so what we just cut out was my attempt to move it outboard. And I need to figure out what our solution's actually going to be for our cab mounts on our front. We've got the rear done. Well, we've got them figured out. And then we need to figure out the front. And then my hope is once they're done, we get everything sorted out, we got it all figured out, then we can take the cab off, put it on its back, solidify everything, get everything welded nice, get it all put back together, and then the cab is established. Then we can go on to actually building the hot rod. Right here, this kick up is simply to get exhaust through because there was just no room for exhaust. So let's go underneath and see what we can see. So right now you can see this was the original idea, and it doesn't quite line up, obviously, but we can move our mount. My second idea was to mount it through the frame, and that could still work in the sense that it would go up right there, but I don't think there's enough room to make that work effectively. So I like this concept right here. My exhaust would come through and get underneath there, and it, ooh. See, this is where I ran into trouble before, because I'm probably running at least 2-inch exhaust, and that won't all fit. So how do I make everything work in such a small package? I can ignore this, or I can ignore this setup. Let me see what my mount options are. These are the S10 mount. If I use them, they're going to be roughly, well, that's right in the way, but that is a lot of real estate. I don't want to come, I mean, obviously my back one's way out there. The further I come back, the less I have controlling me up front. But if I'm all the way up here, I mean, that's not even under the cab at that point. And it's designed to go inside that. One on top, one on bottom, washers, bolts, cup. You could get, oh man, by the time I get trans cooler lines, I get everything through. But the problem is, if I come out here, these don't. If I'm out here, I guess I could come back here and make that work. Ooh, I could come back here and make that work, and that wouldn't be bad, and that would give me a ton of real estate. Now we're talking. Would my running board fit? That's a real question, because it's going to line up. I have a lip right there. Surely it would be on the inside of that. Our mount is out of the way, so I think we're going to build it right there. These are the mounts I'm planning to use for the front cab mounts, and it's a little bit bigger than a 2-inch hole right there, and they squeeze together like this, and then the cab rides on it. I was originally going to reuse the ones that are on the inside of the frame, but they're in a spot I really can't cut them off very easily, and I figured it'd be easier just to build some new ones. But I didn't have metal that was wide enough and thick enough for this, so I ended up going to the store. And at the store, I found these brackets, which would be the start. They're for fences, I'm sure. I don't know what they do. But I found these brackets, and they're thick, they're strong, and they have enough material to make that work in a tight spot. But I need a bigger hole than that. How am I going to use this hole saw with an existing hole and that pilot hole? So I took a 4x4 piece of post I had lying around. I think it was a 3/4 inch dowel, and this hole's roughly 5/8, give or take. Nah, I don't know if it's quite 5/8. It's bigger than a half, smaller than 3/4. But I just started sanding. I just drilled a 5/8 hole down the top of that, hammered the dowel in, and then I sanded until it was tight enough. And now I got a jig to hold it, and I can just drill right down the center of that and cut out these 2 holes I need. Easy peasy. Now hopefully, if everything works, this will work. Or not. Got it. Pilot hole centered up there. I think I want to lock this down somehow. That's going to give us what we want. We'll just take and put a screw right there. Screw in a washer anyway. And a nut. Probably should have had these on the whole time. We're almost through. Best time to put your safety gear on is when you're almost done. Oh, that hurt. I think we're through. Yep, we be through. Yay! Nope, I think I need to drill it just a smidge more. Oh, joy. Yay. One. Ta-da! Through. Damn it. Oh, we're done. Yay. Yay. 2. If we did our math right, this should ship. Boop. Just like that. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Now we got brackets. We just got to figure out how to put them on. So now that we've got these holes cut, the mount will, this is the top one, then your bottom one's here, and they clamp together, and then this cup goes in from the bottom, right? And then it has to hit a nut on top. And this is normally how you would do it. You'd have a spot like that with your nut in the middle. And so what I think we'll probably do is see if we have enough space for this guy on the floor, which we should, and maybe we can weld it on again. Or I got the cutouts of the metal we just cut out, or of the brackets we just cut out. So let's get underneath and see if we can figure that out. So, and the bolt's too long right now, but if I remember right, there. Dang it. I drew a circle right there for where our part will go. We're gonna have to grind this down, weld that, get it all put in place, and then we can weld our bracket to this once this is in place. So let's get started on cleaning all this up and getting it ready to weld our little circle plate on. That'll be fun. First thing we got to do is get this coating off of it, and on the top side of it, I'm going to try and remove the whole thing. I'll probably just remove it from everywhere just because I don't want to weld with that on there. I can't remember what kind of gas it makes, but you got to clean that stuff off, because if you weld on it, it can kill you. I went ahead and cleaned up this nut too, but I've got this big washer cleaned up, and I need to weld this nut to make it captive on the inside. And so I'm going to take this cutout piece, use it as a way to float, and then put that right there. I ran a bolt in the bottom to clamp it down, and I've got a clamp here. It can't go anywhere. While that's cooling off from welding, let's go in here and clean that up. I apparently knocked over my phone, but unfortunately there's no film of me making it look pretty. So we've got that cleaned up and welded up good enough. So I'm running the tap through the nut we welded back together just to make sure the threads are clean and ready to go. Yeah, I didn't have a tap set for a long time, and now I don't know how I got through stuff without it. It's one of those things that you're like, would I use it? And then once you get it, you're like, how did I never not have this? There's just stuff like this, just cleaning up threads, making sure things work, threading holes. It's incredibly useful, and I use it a lot more than I ever realized. I don't know if no, I'm not man enough. My hand's pretty tired today. That's the downside of also having one hand, is you don't ever get to give it a break unless you just want to do nothing. Didn't help grinding upside down. That kills my arm. I know that kills everybody, but it's not that I'm special in what makes me tired. It's more that I have no way to rest unless I just stop. Now we've got our setup complete. Now we can put it under the car, truck, cab, abomination. Now, before I go super far, super freak, she's super freaky. Ow. We'll just notch that a little right there and avoid that. And I think I'll probably notch there eventually too, just to give it a little bit of room, because all that will be hidden by the running board comes in right here. Don't forget, pretty people need a full face shield. Oh yeah, got room for days now. Now you can see we've got a gap all the way around. It's not rubbing. I've got a gap there too. So with it clamped in place, we wire wheeled this side of this. So we'll put a tack here, and I'll try and get a tack back there. Then we'll unbolt everything and weld it in. Oh shit. And the bolt is rubbing right there, so I'm going to take and clean just a little bit of edge off that bar right there to give us some room before I'm going to box all this in to make it strong. Okay, I got a little piece I need to fill in there. I'm not going to cap it today. I'm going to have to re-thread that hole because they're splattered in it again. Hooray. We got to fill in that whole triangle down there, and then it'll be solid on the bottom. I just found a little triangle close enough piece in my scrap. I got it laid in there. Now we're going to just weld it up. I put a magnet under it. Just like that. Magnet out. Ow, hot, woo. Now, I am going to come back and gusset on each side, but I'm not going to do it right now because I can't get that off, and I don't want to melt it to it, so I'm going to have to wait till I lift the body off. But I will be putting gussets to make sure that's strong up and down, and I'm going to weld the center, but I'm not going to do that right now either. I think we're going to call that a video. We got the front cab mount done. I'm going to have the other one done, but I don't see any reason to show it to you on film. It's the exact same thing I just did. It's been a little bit of time since we were on the 36 again. If you want, please feel free to like the video or even consider subscribing. I have an Instagram. It's UpwardPenny, all one word. I do post over there some pictures and stuff on there. And I just really appreciate anyone that takes the time to watch my videos. I enjoy making them. Hopefully they're worth watching for you guys. And don't forget, the only time you can't do something is when you won't. See you later. I also got the driver's side done as well. I just didn't show you how to do it, but I wanted to prove it's done too.